A lot of memorable moments happened in 2022. The Tupelo Community Theatre took the time to remember much more than just a year. They reflected on all of its past years as the building turned 110 years old this year.
It's somewhat the same stage as it was from the beginning.
I spoke with Tom Booth about the Tupelo Community Theatre. He's its first executive director. This year, he's also celebrating a milestone, his 20th anniversary in his position and 30 years of involvement.
It was not the Lyric when it was first built.
In 1912, it was the Comus Theater, and it featured live theater. Then the Strand, and eventually the Lyric turned into a movie theater when it became a part of the Malco Theater Group.
And then 1984, when the Malco was moving out of the Lyric, it became available for sale.
And in that time, you can imagine there's been a lot of changes structurally. Take a look at this. The front of the building was all brick 110 years ago. There wasn't a marquee, and the cars out front looked a little different. Since TCT purchased it in 1984, the marquee has been updated, and so has what's inside, like the seats and the balcony area.
We hope to announce some big capital projects in the next year or so.
What are some of the best seats in the house?
Well, it is extremely subjective. I'm like, you know what? Front row is amazing, but some people just don't like to be this close. It's subjective.
Booth says he actually recommends the front and center of the balcony. So many stories come from experiences here. Tupelo is the king's birthplace. Sam Bell once told me about some of the fond memories he and Elvis shared.
It was segregated, so one side, he'd go in the white side, he'd buy some popcorn, and I'd go in the black side. But when we got upstairs, they had a little banner there and just separated the races, and you just cross over there. So we sit in the aisle instead of using the seat. We sit in the aisle and we watch all the westerns and all that.
With all that history, there's no surprise. Strange things may happen, and it's not the Tupelo Haunted Theater.
Who is Antoine? Well, nobody really seems to know.
Booth tells me Antoine is like Casper the Friendly Ghost. He doesn't do anything bad, but he does pull tricks. After the fifth most deadly tornado in American history happened in Tupelo in 1936, the injured and dying were brought to the Lyric Theater. So, many people believe Antoine is one of those spirits.
And of course, everything that goes wrong at the theater is blamed on Antoine.
Like this set malfunction that happened during a rehearsal. 110 years old and still growing with every production, there's a part here for everybody.
We welcome everyone at the Lyric. There is a place for everyone.
Booth says if you audition for a spot for a play and don't get the part, it's not because you don't have talent.
It's because you weren't right for that one particular role.
And if on stage isn't your thing, you can be a part of the behind-the-scenes crew.
We are already planning for our 54th season, so we're choosing plays now for the future.
To celebrate 110 years, TCT has placed banners along Broadway Street like this one, along the downtown Tupelo area, and every night during the last production, the audience would sing happy birthday to the Lyric.